Game publishers such as EA and Activision may be leading the charge in the egregious implementation of predatory loot boxes, but there are many other video game companies who are complacent to this trend as well. As the gaming industry sways to the flow of the loot box tide, another company that's getting caught up in it is Microsoft. We already saw blatant signs of this when they shoved loot boxes into one of their first-party releases, Forza Motorsport 7, which featured one of the most pathetic loot box systems I've ever seen. The way it worked in this game is that players could spend a currency called CR, which can be earned in-game or bought with real money, to purchase loot boxes and gamble for race modifiers that, when consumed, adjust the next race's parameters and have it reward more CR that the player can then reinvest into buying more loot boxes that grant more race modifiers to further increase CR earnings. In past Forza Motorsport entries, the ability to adjust race difficulty and parameters to earn varying degrees of currency rewards was an inherent gameplay feature that players could just use and play around with at their leisure without restriction. But in this latest entry, race modifiers were segregated to these glorified slot machines that perpetuated a vicious cycle in which players gamble currency to earn more currency, in which they pay to earn, as website Ars Technica put it. Now, you would think that following the backlash against Forza Motorsport 7 system and the uproar and the stigmatization that loot boxes faced throughout 2017, especially after the Battlefront 2 fiasco, Microsoft would know better than to keep pursuing loot box schemes. But according to a report by website Windows Central, Microsoft might be gearing up to implement loot boxes via Xbox avatars as part of the platform's upcoming and revamped career achievement system. This can all be traced as far back as a couple of months ago when, quote, Xbox platform chief Mike Ybarra teased that Microsoft was looking into ways to extend the Xbox achievement system beyond Gamerscore, as the company believes that the current Gamerscore system doesn't fairly represent the accomplishments of people like esports players who might spend the majority of their time in a single game. So with this new career achievement system, according to the documentation that Windows Central received, players would be able to earn levels and prestige ranks as well as, quote, obtaining rewards such as loot crates which come with cosmetic items for the new avatar system. You may recall that a new avatar system for Xbox was announced in E3 2017 with this teaser video, which was originally slated to launch sometime in late 2017 before being delayed to early 2018. And as you can see in the video, cosmetic customization is a huge part of these avatars, and with cosmetic microtransactions and loot boxes having proven to be so financially lucrative for many game companies, perhaps it should come as no surprise that Microsoft might see a monetization opportunity here. Now, I say might because according to Windows Central, quote, it doesn't look as though loot crates will be purchasable with real money, though they also added that it's probably too early to say at this point whether that will be the case later on. And that's the part that concerns me, what happens later on. I don't know about you, but after all that's happened, I'm not about to give Microsoft the benefit of the doubt on this one. I have yet to see a gaming company implementing a dedicated loot box system without the express intention of monetizing them in some way, shape, or form. Now, assuming that Windows Central's report is true, what's really scary about all this is the kind of precedent something like this could set for the future of the gaming industry. I fear for a future in which gaming companies won't just recurrently monetize games, but also video game console features. It might start off innocently enough with avatar loot crates that you can only earn by completing achievements with 0 microtransactions attached to them. But innocently enough is how all insidious practices in the gaming industry began. That's how DLCs, season passes, pre-order bonuses, gold editions, microtransactions, and loot boxes have slowly evolved from seemingly innocent seeds planted all those years ago into the monstrosities that they are now. While not all of these practices are inherently bad, we have seen over the years just how exploitable they are and how much they have been corrupted over time by corporate greed. So forgive me if I seem paranoid about the kind of precedent that Xbox One's loot box-based avatar and achievement system might set for future generations of game consoles. Forgive me if I fear that this this might all be paving a path towards a not-so-distant future in which not just games, but game consoles and platforms will employ their own predatory and manipulative monetization schemes. It's hard not to imagine a worst-case scenario for stuff like this after a turbulent year in gaming like 2017. Microsoft is walking on mighty thin ice with their plan to implement loot boxes across an entire platform's operating system. It's terrible timing too, considering the shitstorm that loot boxes are facing from the gaming community and the recent threat of government intervention. None of this bodes well for Xbox One's lagging sales either. Microsoft is going to need all the consumer goodwill that they can muster if they intend to keep up with the competition, and I'm not sure implementing such a controversial system platform-wide is the best way to do that. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. In the meantime though, if you're an Xbox One owner or are thinking about getting an Xbox One soon, be on the lookout for loot boxes possibly arriving to your Xbox One's avatar and achievement system sometime this year. Even if it turns out that they can't be bought with real money and end up being solely achievement rewards starting out, don't breathe a sigh of relief quite yet, because past history has proven that you never really know how much a system will evolve over time. In my experience, there is seldom a circumstance in which loot boxes, these glorified slot machines, don't have ulterior monetization intentions behind them. These are just one man's thoughts though. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments below. With that, I would like to end this news update. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you found this video informative, and if you enjoy my content, consider supporting me on Patreon to help this channel stay independent and self-sustained. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out!